Today's video is all about sight words, how to teach them to your child and practice with them on a weekly basis. Having gone through several different types of reading curricula with my own children, I was hard-pressed to find a very systematic or step-by-step way of introducing, teaching, and practicing sight words. Oftentimes, I would just find a list of words that I would have to practice, but no guidance as to how to actually introduce them. So today I'm going to share with you two simple and effective methods for introducing and teaching sight words to your child that I have come to after doing a lot of research and trial and error with my own children. I'm also going to talk you through different activities you can do with your child to help them master their sight words. Sight words, or high frequency words, are words that we encounter at least 50% of the time as we read any given text. Sometimes these words can be decoded phonetically, but a lot of other times they do break those phonetic rules, such as the words one and two. Now, when we refer to them as sight words, that implies the memorization and the ability to read the word instantaneously as we see it. Because we're going to encounter these words so frequently, and some of them do tend to break phonetic rules, it's important for a child to be able to memorize them so that they can read more fluently. Where do you go to find specific lists that share what these high frequency words are? Well, I have made it a little bit easier for you. I've provided some links below to lists that link up to different grade levels. Now, because some of these words are listed in specific grades does not mean that your child absolutely needs to learn this at a certain grade level. This is just a recommendation. If you're using any type of reading curriculum already with your child, 9 times out of 10, they're going to provide a list of words for you to practice in any given unit or lesson. And then we have lists like phrase words and Dolch words. If you're using any of those lists, I would highly recommend that you choose just a few at a time, if not one at a time, if your child is doing this for the very first time. I said time a lot. They're pretty similar. There are some differences between them, but that's something else you can also use to help guide you in introducing it to your child. Now let's get into these methods. These two methods are going to be quite similar to one another, except that the second one is really going to draw a little bit more from the child's phonetic knowledge. The cycle you're going to go through for both of the methods relies on seeing the word, hearing, reading it, putting it into context, and spelling it. All right, this is the word think. Can you say think? Very good. I think I am very hungry. Can you try making up your own sentence with the word think?
I think they are waiting for me.
Yes, very good. Now that we have used it in a sentence, and you can keep going if you'd like, but we're going to, you can do two things. You can spell the word using something like magnet letters, which she's doing right now, which is great. The other thing you can do is have the child write it down. For my younger daughter, doing the magnet letters, or you can even write letters on bottle caps and have them spell it out that way. That's a great way to practice their spelling. So let's say the word think.
Think.
All right, now let's spell the word by saying all of the letters' names. Oh, those are the sounds. Very good. But we're going to say the letter names to spell the word. Ready? So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to model for her. Think. T-H-I-N-K. Think. Can you say the word, spell the word, and say the word again?
Okay. Think. T-H-I-N-K. Think.
Fantastic. Now we're going to do method 2, and it's kind of similar to the first method, except first I'm going to just put the word right in front of her like this, and I'm gonna have her make observations. The first observation we're gonna make is, what are the sounds that you see in this word?
Aw.
Okay, the sounds. Tell me the sounds.
Oh. It.
Okay, so if you notice, this is the word right, and she sounded out all of the different sounds in the word, which is a great start. That's perfectly fine. So now, what I'm going to read. Yeah, I'm gonna say it to you, all right? So I'm going to sound it out. Right, right. What do you notice about the sounds?
I know that is silent. No.
Yes, the IGH. Okay, so it makes one sound, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Very good. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use it in a sentence again. So tell me, what is the right way to spell right? That's a funny sentence. Can you tell me a sentence with the word right?
I'm doing something right.
I'm doing something right. That's a fantastic sentence. Okay, go ahead and tell me what letters you see in the word right. Can you point and tell me all the letters you see?
R-I-G-H-T.
Fantastic. R-I-G-H-T. That spells the word right. Right. R-I-G-H-T. Right. So then we go through the same process of writing it down. She says the word, spells the word, and says the word, and that completes the second method. You do not have to use one method or the other exclusively because I feel like both of them have their place when it comes to learning certain sight words. For example, the first method is so good to use if your child is learning words that truly break phonetic rules. And then when it comes to words that they can actually sound out, you can go ahead and use that second method so that your child gains some agency in learning their sight words, and they will feel so empowered to just continue learning them on their own. Another tip I have is to be patient with your child and to trust the process, especially during the first couple of times you introduce sight words to your child using these methods. It's going to seem like it's taking a little bit longer in the beginning because your child is just starting to learn their words, and you're gonna have to do a lot of modeling in the beginning. Be patient and trust the process because it's going to pay off in the end when it comes to your child's reading fluency. Now let's talk about some activities that you can do to help your child practice these sight words. Practicing not only involves reading the word outside and inside of context, but also spelling the word and creating sentences. And this is gonna help your child, again, to develop further meaning and context and connections for these sight words. Number one, this is pretty straightforward. It's grabbing a chalkboard or whiteboard, something that you can put up in your homeschool space, and have the child come up with their own sentences using each of the sight words that they're practicing. You can certainly help your child. I like to actually jot it down for my child so that they can feel a little bit less intimidation in the process of coming up with their own sentences, but then the idea is that they would refer to them and read them on a daily basis. And then you can extend this activity further by providing them a sheet of paper that has some lines where they can do copy work and write the sentence down, highlighting or circling that key target word that they're practicing, and then they can have space to draw a picture of the sentence. This next activity is something that I really love to do with my kids, and that is reading tag. This takes place when I'm doing that lovely one-on-one reading time with my child, and we take turns reading. In the back of my mind, I have the words that I know that she can read that are the sight words, and so I will occasionally point to a word and have her and tag her and have her read the word so that she can practice it in context. Another way that you can have your child practice sight words is by doing some independent reading, and I absolutely love how Bob Books introduces sight words here and there, just a few, enough for the child to be able to practice independently. Other books that you can use include these sight word readers by Scholastic. They have a nonfiction version and a fiction version. In the nonfiction version, you're going to notice that the target word the child is practicing is in bold print. However, this is something that I would definitely recommend you do with your child the first couple of times so they can kind of get used to it, because some of the words are not something that they can sound out easily, especially if they're just learning to read for the first time. So you're going to help them through figuring out some of the context cues in the pictures to figure out the words. And then once they feel comfortable, they can certainly do this on their own. For the fiction reader, you'll notice a couple of things. Number one, they have 2 target words that the child will practice, and these target words are not bolded in the stories. So this is something that I would introduce to your child once they feel a little bit more comfortable with not only reading sight words, but also reading in general. Then we have sight word bingo. And again, this is pretty straightforward. You can print off a bingo board free from the internet and have your child have a group or set of words that you're going to use to play the game. They choose the words that they want to write in each of the boxes, and then you proceed to play the game of bingo and use fun different counters to mark each of the words that they find. And the idea is that when a word is drawn, they have to read the word and locate the word and read it again in order to be able to place their counter on it. This next activity is one that you may have already seen on Pinterest, and that is read it, build it, write it. The child takes a sight word, they read the word, then they grab a manipulative like the movable alphabet or letter magnets or whatever you have on hand. They build the word and then they write the word. You can also use a lot of other different types of materials to provide a multisensory experience for your child. When I say multisensory, just bringing in all of the different types of senses into the learning process. So having your child use cereal or Cheerios to build their sight words. You can also make it very kinesthetic for your child. You can have a soft ball that they can throw at a wall full of note cards that have the words on them, and they have to read the word and then create a sentence with that sight word. You can also have them play hopscotch with the word so that they're using their entire body. So these are just different ways to draw a child in and engage their senses and their whole body in the process of practicing sight words. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly hope that these methods of teaching your child to read sight words and these activities are so helpful for you. If you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a great big thumbs up, a like. That truly helps to support me and this channel greatly. Take care, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.